We're back. We're back to soccer. We're back to the BARDOWN pod. I'm Alec Camp. This is Kellen Sharpe. And no tie guy over here. That's Brandon Sharpe, member of the Sharpe Sports Report. And boys, the United States is going back to the World Cup for the first time since 2014. We are in after a horrible 2018 that left us out of the World Cup in Russia. But who wants to go to Russia? I don't want to go to Russia. That's fine. We're in. We're going to Qatar. Who wants to go to Qatar in the Qatari summer? I don't know the question or the answer to that either. But we're here, and all I can say is, we're better together. That is the theme song for this year's World Cup. We're better together. Hiya, hiya. With that said, let's jump into this. Another episode of the BARDOWN Sports Pod. Let's go. My first question, or first thoughts. We're in. Like I said, United States is getting in. Even though we lose to Costa Rica in San Jose horribly, again, boys, we get destroyed. What were your guys' reactions? Was it celebratory after the game? We're in the World Cup. We got our butts kicked. Was it this odd, I don't know what to do because we got our butts kicked and backed our way into the World Cup? Or were you just totally distraught because we got our butts kicked? Kellen, how did you react?
Excited, man. Yes. I don't remember the last time we were in the World Cup and were competitive in the World Cup, because I might have been 3 or 2 if the math is right there. So this is probably the best team I remember watching. And though we lose 2-0 to Costa Rica, which is a concerning loss, I'm not horribly terrified by it, because the teams we are going to end up facing, they have their own ways of, one, just not being good, and 2, choking games themselves. So it's possible. I'm still looking at the bright side here. As the great Monty Python song goes, always look on the bright side of life.
Always on the bright side of life.
Always look on the bright. Okay, whatever. I'm happy. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, so I'm not a big soccer guy. You guys know this. But since you guys have been bringing soccer up like crazy with the World Cup and the qualifying for the U.S., I've been getting into it a little more. I think that last match against Costa Rica was more of hey, we're in no matter what. So do we really have to go 100% tonight as long as we don't lose 6-0? I mean, it's not, hard at all to not lose 6-0 or anything like that. But hey, they're in. Alec, you're going to touch on the groups later. I think I was happy. And then the drawing happened. And then I'm well, I'll take it down a couple notches and see what happens from there. But overall, U.S. is in again.
My reaction to the Costa Rica game was when Costa Rica scored that early goal. I have to be honest and say I did have a sickly 2018 feeling in my stomach, thinking, no way. We're not going to give up 6 goals. Then the little devil on the other side of my shoulder said, oh, but you can. You can find a way to give up 6 goals, and you'll have to go into a playoff versus some intercontinental team. It didn't happen, so we're good there. But I just want to point out that I did feel a little sick in my stomach during match. All right, thoughts really quick, you guys, on I was having a hard time trying to figure out, was this qualification cycle for the United States any different from 2018's? In terms of quality of play, Kellen, I completely agree with you. The one big thing that has changed is talent of the team. You'd be remiss to try and say otherwise. I mean, we lose, Brandon, to your point, to Costa Rica. All we're trying to do is just not lose by 6 goals. We don't have Kellen, blanking on his name, midfielder, Weston McKennie. You can point out maybe we looked past him a little bit, but was there any difference? Did anything change? Because, Taylor Twellman famously said, what are we doing? After we get eliminated by Trinidad and Tobago in 2018. Did anything change?
Yes, and managerially, definitely a lot better than what we ever used to be. Now we had Jurgen Klinsmann. Is that right?
Yep.
He was all right. But our new manager has come out and done a remarkable job just developing the talent that was there in 2018, the younger talent that was there in 2018. I still have some questions in regards to the fluidity of our formation, as very often you find us in a very stagnant, exact levels, and there isn't much curvature or movement amongst players, which I think comes with the loss of Weston McKennie, who's a great midfield leader, and that's where you usually see the stagnation on the football pitch. But I mean, the quality of play is far and beyond what we ever had, and when you look at older teams that had success, like when Landon Donovan was there, like you had Landon Donovan and you had other good players, but it wasn't a consistent all the way through solid talent. And you can look at every position or every area on that field and find someone who was very good. And we have many guys who are playing overseas. Weston plays for Juventus. Pulisic plays for Chelsea. It's great to see that we're actually developing as a soccer nation, and hopefully any success we see from the men's team can continue to carry over and crank out good quality young players.
I concur.
Brandon concurs. Oh, well, Kellen, to add to your point there, the United States is about to have 41 players playing at some level of the top 5 leagues in Europe, which is phenomenal. I heard a great take from one of my favorite soccer podcasts, Caught Offside, Andrew Guntley, JJ Devaney. They're amazing. They work for ESPN. I heard that stat from them and just thought, man, that's crazy. What does that actually allude to? Well, it actually alludes to, they were trying to talk about MLS. While it's great to have a domestic league, it really almost hindered the United States national team, because all it did was allow other teams from CONCACAF to put their players into a higher league than their domestic leagues. And it was the same league that our team players were playing in. So we really kind of screwed ourselves, understanding that we want soccer domestically, but let's send our national team guys elsewhere. The world seems to have caught on that we have talent. So this should continue to flow for us, hopefully. I completely agree. Berhalter's style of play, I like it. It does need tweaking, but it's nice to see wingers like or fullbacks like Robinson and Sergio Dest, who is going to be so good for the United States moving forward. So good. It's nice to see, even if it's a poor man's version of like good football, we're getting there, and that's exciting to see. So with that, let's move on to the actual group. It comes out Friday. It was a great show. Again, I have my own thoughts on, whether we should be making Qatar look good after all the things have been coming out about violences, to people building a stadium, and other humanitarian problems in that country. But Group B is interesting because we have gone to war with, obviously, England, an old rival. We have our problems with Iran. And then you look at we have intercontinental playoffs there's 3 teams up for that. So we have Wales playing Scotland, which is fantastic, huge rivalry game. Then winner's going to play Ukraine, who, if they get in, are going to be the darlings of this entire tournament. What are your thoughts first on seeing England as the top seed in our group?
One, I would also like to mention, we fought ourselves as well.
We did. We absolutely did.
So that happened. Seeing England is terrifying, but it's also moderately soothing, because every player on England on every level has experienced and constantly shows some form of inadequacy and laziness. Specifically, Harry Maguire, you are dog shit. So seeing England is terrifying because you have great players like Harry Kane, who right now is just destroying the EPL. Who knows what happens come November? Then you have guys like Raheem Sterling, who's constantly good, but at sometimes there's some mental miscues there. And then you got, was it Mason Mount? It's just a solid team all around. And when they're going, they are nearly impossible to beat. So seeing a team like England is frightening, but I think we have a chance to at least draw.
Yes.
I'm actually interested in both your guys' take on this whole Harry Kane thing, because every time there's like your guys' team playing on the weekend and Harry Kane scores, you guys are going nuts and texting the group. And now you're going to have to either root for US or Harry Kane. So, pick your poison right now.
Here's the thing about the World Cup. And it's the beauty of the World Cup. You cheer for your team, but then you also have a couple other teams. And the Three Lions are one of my favorite teams. Football's coming home. If the United States can't do it, England's got to do it. They have to bring football home, mate. It's got to happen. Three Lions can do it. Anyways, no, I think, Kellen, with your point, England might be top to bottom and their bench the most talented team in this entire tournament. You look at people like Harvey Barnes might not see time. Jack Grealish might not see time. They got Phil Foden on the wing. I mean, they got players everywhere. That's not even touching the defense where they got Stones, like you said, Maguire. While he has sucked for Man United, he's getting a bad rap, I think, for his national team because he plays really well for England. Jordan Henderson. It's like a who's who of the Premier League, right? So that's a fun team to watch. And if we look at the current FIFA standings for teams in the United States group, in Group B, England is third in the world currently. The United States is second best in the group. We're 13th ranked in the world. And now here's where it gets interesting. We're going to go to Iran. Now, I am guilty of doing this myself. When I saw Iran, I was thinking, oh, hell yeah, let's take that draw. Two things. Iran actually is 22nd in the world in the FIFA World Rankings. Number two, Iran borders Qatar, and you can damn well bet that they are going to have the largest following other than Qatar at this tournament. So that is actually worrisome to me because supposedly I don't watch Iranian football. Supposedly they're super, super, super attack oriented. Scares me a little bit. I thought they would be a team that's like ranked 40 something or lower that likes to park the bus, and we're not ever going to be in danger of conceding and hopefully just get like a 1-0, 2-0 win. With that being said about Iran, what do you guys now think about having them in the group?
Right away, like even before you said that stat, I'm afraid because we are the United States. There's nothing guaranteed when it comes to us playing football. I don't remember what year or what round, but we blew it to Ghana once. We can lose to Iran.
Well, you're putting Ghana though, who was top 10 at the time. That's not the same thing. Ghana,
No. But what I'm saying is from the mindset of a United States person who would vaguely watch soccer, they're looking at an Iran or at a Ghana and like, oh, we're the US. We should dominate this game when in reality we won't.
I follow you there.
Kind of explain how the process works from the group stage then, like once matches start, how does it go for within the group? Is it first and second players round?
Sure. So here, we'll get to that then. I will actually draw out, when these games are played as well. So we play whoever wins this playoff of 3 teams, which is in June, I believe. We play them first November 21st. We're in England November 25th, which is Black Friday. You're giving me a World Cup game against England on Black Friday. Hopefully that gets people watching, like some outside fringe soccer fans tuned in. So we got England then, and then we got Iran. So you play 3 games. a win in soccer in a group stage is 3 points. A draw, you get 1 point. You lose, you don't get in. So you got 3 chances. The top 2 from each group advance. And then so this is big for the United States. I think our group is actually tougher than, rankings wise, tougher than all the other ones. So then the top 2 teams from Group B play the top 2 teams from Group A. Group A is thought of as the weakest in the entire tournament. So the second place team from Group B plays whoever finishes first in A, and then vice versa. So we will get more into that here in a second. With that being said, let's go to these 3 teams who are in the playoff. And this is why I think our group actually is the toughest. Out of all the groups. Intercontinental playoff, they're ranked 19th in the world. What do you think about Gareth Barry? That would put us total rankings. Go through this really quick. If Wales were to win, Group B's total rankings would be 57, making it the toughest. The second toughest group would be Group D, with France, Denmark, Tunisia, and probably going to be Peru, I would guess, the 21. Third toughest group is Group E, that has Spain, Germany, Japan, and the winner of another intercontinental playoff, probably going to be Costa Rica, who just beat the United States, with 92 for total ranking. Number 4, Group C, which lots of people are dubbing the group of death. That is Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. The 5th toughest, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia in Group F. The 6th toughest, Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. 7, Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea. And again, by far, the easiest group is Group A, with Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. So after I have said that, rankings wise, what was the group that you guys kind of had jump off the page at you? Where you're like, oof, that is a scary group?
I mean, for me, at least, it's got to be the Argentina, Mexico, Poland. Is it Saudi Arabia? Is that 4th one?
Yep, Saudi Arabia.
You have Messi, who is all-time great, and you have Di Maria on that squad, and you have, blanking on the other guy who I know, I can't remember his name, who also plays for PSG. And then you have the guy who should be a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner in Robert Lewandowski. And Poland, sadly, he doesn't have a whole lot of help. But he's usually good enough to at least get them out of the group stage. And then you look at Mexico, who comes out of the CONCACAF as they're like the US, but just way more consistent, I would say, or historically consistent. And then I don't know anything about Saudi Arabia, but it's just seeing the matchup between Messi and Robert Lewandowski would be insane. And then you got a team like Mexico who could sneak in and I would say trump Poland to get that second spot in the group.
Well, I was going to say Group C, but I'm not going to say Group C. Just find some diversity on this little podcast for you guys. I'm going to go with Group F, Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, and Canada. I can't think of the right wing guy for Croatia. He plays in the
Modric.
That's it right there. That guy. I honestly
here.
think Croatia pulls out of this group.
This is an interesting take. So the 2018 runner-ups, Brandon has coming out of the group. I will say they're a very old squad now. They kind of limped in through qualifying. But I mean, I like that pick though, Brandon. Belgium's ranked number 1 in the FIFA World Rankings. Canada might be the hottest team coming into this entire tournament. They look great. They have a renewed sense of purpose. This is huge for them. Then again, Croatia sitting there with experience that can't be overlooked in a tournament like this. I want to go back really quickly, Kellen, to your group, Group C. I didn't know this. Mexico has advanced out of the group stage in the last 7 World Cups. The last 7 World Cups. That's Brandon and I's entire lifetime. They have not advanced. Their problem is they always face the toughest possible opponent in the first 11. They better win their group because it's going to look like second place in Group C will be playing France. And so if you're Mexico, that doesn't look good. I would say, I'd like to go and say that I want to say Group H, in my mind, was maybe the toughest. If, again, going to add diversity, I thought Group C as well right off the bat. But let's go look at Group H really quick. You have Portugal, ranked 7th in the world. We all know Ronaldo. This is his last World Cup. I'm super glad they were able to get in. That would have really been a bummer for world football if they hadn't. Ghana, who Kellen mentioned, they have a great run of success in this tournament. Normally a really scrappy team, always a super, super dangerous counterattacking team. Uruguay with Mr. Biting Man himself, Luis Suarez, getting in there. Uruguay beats you up. They can score goals. Tough team. And North Korea, which, I mean,
South Korea.
Or South Korea, not North Korea. Yeah, we don't want North Korea. Which Kellen and I's one of our favorite players, Kim Son. South Korea might be behind England, the team I'm cheering for the most in this tournament. So I'm going to go with Group H. Any other thoughts, guys, on any of the other groups? Well, I mean, we can go through them all. We can do anything.
I actually have something pulled up on my computer right now of the odds for each team in the group of pulling out of the group.
Of getting through?
So,
yeah, go ahead. Read them out.
Group C, Argentina, -195. Poland in second with a +410. Mexico third, +440. Saudi Arabia, +3,800. For USA's group, England -240. USA second with +700. Iran +1100. And the TBD for the last one. For Group F with Belgium is favored -160. Croatia +290. Morocco +600. And Canada +1,300.
That might be your bet right there.
For Group H, you've got Portugal -160, Uruguay +260, South Korea +900, and Ghana +12.
I'm gonna say this. Go ahead, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say your top 5 teams to be World Cup winners. They also have this on there: is Brazil +500, France +600, England +650, Spain +800, and then Germany +1,000. And they're tied with Argentina at that 5th spot.
So right now, Group H, Portugal is not coming out of there.
You don't think Portugal's coming out of there?
I don't.
Ronaldo's final World Cup, they're not going to.
I think is Suarez and Cavani. Is he on?
Yes.
He's on. Yeah, I think they will win it. And I think second place, I'm leaning towards Ghana, but I wouldn't be surprised if South Korea wins it as well. I think it'll be a very tight matchup or tight race for that second spot. And I think Ghana is going to pull it out, and it's going to be Uruguay and Ghana going on.
It'd be a sad end to
It'd be a fantastic end to the number 2 best player of all time. Yes, it would be.
You stop that right now. But pulling out the Messi again. Oh man. It's interesting because going into this World Cup, we haven't mentioned Brazil. If I had to pick a team right now that's going to win it, I'd pick Brazil. I would. No, I would. They're playing the best football out there. Last season, again, as we've said, there's a lot of unknowns, right? Because in previous iterations, we've had a powerhouse Spain or a powerhouse Germany or powerhouse Argentina, Portugal, all these teams. And you look now, we can say France is really freaking good. We know that for a fact. Belgium is older. They're still good, but you don't look at them the same way.
Germany's old as hell.
Germany's so old. It's like, man, if you're looking for a winner, maybe you look at a team that's coming out of a group that might be easy with the right amount of like push, right? Because the whole thing about these tournaments, for those of you who haven't watched them a lot, is, are you able to build momentum into the tournament? If you lose your first game, you're basically done if you get off to a slow start. So you look around, what are teams that could possibly build into the tournament? And I think Brazil is that team. They're sitting in a group with Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Exception, I think they're going to get the right amount of push from those teams with still winning comfortably. So then they go into, I tend to agree with you, Kellen. I think Uruguay is going to win that group. So if it's Portugal, I think that's the only team that could beat them just because of their defensive style of play. But I mean, there's all kinds of storylines heading into this tournament. It's part of the intrigue. It's in November, the biggest storyline, as we said, Black Friday games. Are you kidding me? It's awesome in one sense, bad in another. Here's something I did not know. This could also be a storyline that affects who's going to come out on top of this tournament. Did you guys know that players only get 7 days from when they're allowed to leave their club teams to when the World Cup starts? 7 days. How ridiculous. How stupid is that? So you look then, maybe you think all these teams with guys who play in the Premier League, Serie A, all these teams or all these leagues that are playing like mid-season during this time, maybe that helps the United States a little bit. Yeah, our top guys are playing in those leagues, but we got other guys who've been rested.
We'll say, and while we have, I don't know what the timetable on McKinney's return is, but maybe he's just fresh off of getting right back into it. Maybe he's just doing fine at that point. And Pulisic, I mean, he plays a solid role in Chelsea's success, but it's not like he's the biggest reason they win games. Not like he's running back and forth all the time. So
Exactly.
There should be some fresh legs. And like you mentioned, we look at England, they're the who's who of who is in the Premier League. So everyone's going at it there. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. is in second, although I'm really afraid to see who comes out of that European playoff because, god damn, dude, I think Gareth Bale will tear us apart.
Yeah.
Jeez. You don't bring a tie. You don't bring thoughts on any matters.
No, like I've seen Gareth Bale play, and honestly, like it's just one of those things where, like, yes, the U.S. made it. It's awesome. It's a worldwide event that everyone is stoked for to see us back in. But just today, he was telling me if Wales gets out of that elimination, they're going to probably one of the best teams to come out of that group. I mean, USA is not being talked about at all in anything.
Which was fine. I think the group is favorable. I think it works out nice. I don't think we can overlook any, which is, as I was saying, what you want. You don't want to go into a game like Qatar, even though they're a host nation. I mean, come on. It's Qatar. They're not going to win. I really hope that Scotland somehow finds a way to come out of that little playoff because, as I said, we're all in agreement. None of us want to play Wales the first game. None of us do. And then none of us want to play freaking Ukraine. Team of destiny. Get that out of here. Let's play Scotland. Let's pick up a W. 3 points. Go into a match against England where we don't need a result. Maybe we can get a draw, have 4 points. And whatever happens against Iran happens. We have never beaten Iran in the World Cup, by the way. We are 0-1-1, and we have never lost to England in the World Cup. We are 1-1-0. Fast fact.
last question for both of you guys, just because I'm probably not going to watch it, but you guys are probably going to watch it. Tottenham and Newcastle tomorrow, 11:30.
Kellen, you can start.
I cannot make an educated guess on any Tottenham result ever. Games we should win, we lose by 3. Games we shouldn't win, we somehow pull off wins and we play fantastically. Not like they're fluke wins. We just play great. It makes no goddamn sense. Now we should beat Newcastle. I'm gonna say we win 2-0. But we could lose 4-0.
I'm scared that I'm just going to jinx all of this. As Kellen said, who knows what Spurs are going to do on a weekly basis? You're foolish to think you know what's going to happen. I would like to think we're going to win 3. We're going to score 3 goals. I think we're going to score 3. I think Kane's getting 2 tomorrow, and I think Son's going to get 1, kind of break out of a little funk. I don't see us getting a clean sheet, though. I don't trust our defense. It's still the weakness of this team. Newcastle has renewed energy, by the way, since their new signings a couple months back. We just better get up on them early, because Lord knows what's going to happen if it goes into the second half and it's draw right then. Whatever it is, 0-0, 1-1, 2-2. If it's tied at halftime, I don't see us winning. I wish I didn't feel that way, but that's the state of Spurs football at the moment. And it sucks, but you know what? We signed up for it. We're ready for it. Let's go.
I would like to congratulate Brentford today for fucking murdering Chelsea, and our homeboy Christian Eriksen for putting one in the back of the net. I love you, Christian.
It was nice to see. Freaking Chelsea. That's what they're going to have to call him now. Old Chelsea. Up 1-0 on a – did you see Rudiger's goal, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was a laser beam from like 40 yards out. Post, bar down on it. Look at that. Bar down goal by Rudiger. But, yeah, them bees were just being bees, man. Just started swarming 4-1. It's fantastic watching Chelsea fans be all sad. Anyways. With that being said, we're in the World Cup, guys. November cannot come quick enough. I'm so ready. The party's going to begin. It's the beginning of a World Cup championship. I'll say it right now. The United States is bringing home the World Cup. In what is that going to be, 2022? Yeah, it'll still be 2022. And set the stage for an epic World Cup 2026 in the United States.
Canada and Mexico.
No one cares, Kellen. No one cares. It's in the United States. With that is another episode of the BARDOWN Sports Pod, brother podcast of the Sharpe Sports Report. Tune in on Monday, as we'll have another Sharpe Sports Report coming at you with a championship matchup. North Carolina and Duke getting ready to play here in a little bit.
Kansas just whooped up on Villanova, so damn.
We'll see you later. Go Spurs.